This is Mr. Prall, gym teacher at Riverside Junior Senior High School.
Health teacher as well.
Health teacher.
And health.
Gym and health. We are here to ask you a few questions. Starting off, when did you start playing football and what got you into it?
I think I was 7, and one of my best friends, Ryan Hogan, whose kids actually in the district right now, I saw him walking up from football practice over at Battaglia Field in West Side, and I was very curious what he was wearing, and told me it was football, so I was like, all right, I want to play that. And next day, my father brought me down for sign-ups, and I was signed up for the West Side Jets.
All right. I mean, must have been a great move because, you know, you got where you are today.
Well, my father wanted me to play soccer at the time, and I never went to that first soccer practice, so I may agree that it may have been a good move.
Yeah, but how did you perform in like your first few years playing football?
I moved around different positions. I remember when I was a young kid, they had me playing safety, cornerback, running back, wide receiver, quarterback. So, the team did well. I remember we won some games, made the playoffs a little bit. But we had a lot of fun with a lot of the friends that I still have to this day. And it's pretty neat that I can say that I'm 40 years old now. And looking back on it, 30-some years ago, I started playing a sport that I'm still close with the people that I played with then.
Yeah, that's remarkable. What, 30 years, you said?
Yeah,
Wow.
33 years. I was 7 years old at the time, and I'm 40 right now.
Huh.
Wow.
Did you expect to go to a college for football? At any point in your career?
When I got into high school, playing sports was a passion of mine. I enjoyed it. Just the camaraderie and the teamwork that it takes to be successful as a team was something that helped drive myself to be a better player or an athlete. And going into my sophomore, junior year, playing sports in college was something that was in my head. And I was just very fortunate that I had a lot of great people in my life that were able to steer me in the right direction, teach me good decisions about being a good person, taking your academics seriously and doing the right things in life. And I think those things paid off because I think there's too many pitfalls and too many obstacles that kids face nowadays that they're unaware of, that they don't realize their potential, that if they make the right decisions when they're 14, 15, 16 years old, that they can do well.
So when you first got an offer from Stroudsburg, did you have any offers aside from Stroudsburg?
So an interesting thing happened to me in the whole recruiting process. Now we got to go back 20-some years ago, where the SATs were heavily factored into admittance into universities. And I was getting recruited by quite a few schools. We took probably about a dozen visits to multiple universities, whether it was FCS, D2, D3. And at the time, going into the Christmas break, my number one was Richmond. And, they were heavily recruiting me, full athletic scholarship and everything. And unfortunately, being a high academic school Richmond was, and really weighting their SATs, I couldn't get accepted. I took the SATs multiple times, took the ACTs, which is common in the South. But, like I said, it was a different era. GPA-wise, I had over 95 GPA. I just was not a great test taker. And unfortunately, that's what happened. But on the bright side of that, I did have multiple opportunities with other schools, and East Stroudsburg was one of them. And they also had the major health and PE, which I really wanted to do as I got older. So in a way, it was an unfortunate situation not getting to go to Richmond because they don't offer health and PE. So I don't know where my life would be right now if I ended up going there.
Why did you go to Stroudsburg?
A couple things. Location was nice. I was away from home, but yet close enough where I needed to come home. I really could. It was Division II, so it was playing a high caliber level of football. They have a great health and physical education program. And believe it or not, one of my dad's coworkers, Mike Mancuso, who is a Carbondale graduate in the mid-'90s, played there in the 90s, and he set all types of records at wide receiver, so he was always putting it in my father's brain about, ESU for Evan, so, as this whole process played out, I like to tell kids, you don't know what's going to happen. It's like a mystery, and sure enough, it just led me down this road, and I knew about East Stroudsburg from an early age. I kept hearing about it from my dad's coworker, and, I checked a lot of the boxes that I wanted. And when I went on campus and took my my tour, I kind of fell in love with the place.
How did you end up playing in the NFL?
Well, I was very fortunate going to a university like Strasbourg where they have a lot of great players, a lot of great coaches, and I give a lot of credit to the coaches that, coached me throughout the 5 years I was there, one being a redshirt year. And, my quarterback at the time, Jimmy Twilliger, he's the head football coach at East Strasbourg University right now. Pound for pound, the toughest person I've ever played with, but he had a drive like none other, and it was contagious. And I think that he made all the people around him much better, not just as athletes, but also as students. Jimmy was a 4.0 student. He attacked his academics like he did practice and like he did on the football field, and that really transitioned over to myself and a lot of the other guys around us. Where practicing against some of the people that we had on the team just made you better every day. And it's also a mindset. You go to practice, it's like studying for a test. You're not going to just show up and take your test like a game would be showing up and playing a game. You're going to have to practice, and you're going to want to work to get better and find something you want to improve on. And I give Jimmy and those coaches a lot of credit for instilling those things into me as an 18-year-old freshman. That was kind of like inexperienced in the world because as growing up, we never really took many vacations. I never really left Scranton, PA. So kind of going to East Strasbourg kind of like opened my eyes to see what else was out there in the world.
Yeah, just a kid.
Absolutely.
Good thing you learned that though. Helped you get there.
How did it feel when you found out there was NFL teams interested in you?
So how the whole process plays out was my junior year was 2005, and it was a very special time for me because there was a team, a group of guys I'm close with to this day that, we had a lot of success on and off the football field. We got to play in December. We went to the national semifinals to play against Grand Valley State, who ended up winning the national championship the week after that. And throughout the course of that season, as we've gotten better as athletes and as a team, a lot of scouts through the NFL was stopping in the office to come watch practice at that time. So going into my senior year, I knew there was some interest out there. Right before I left for summer vacation my junior year, some scouts came up. We did a little combine. We ran the 40. We did the Wonderlic test. Got acquainted with them a little bit. So, going into my senior year, it was in my head that, I may have a couple opportunities. But to be honest with you, the main priority was getting my education and getting my degree because that's where I went to college. The NFL is not guaranteed. My degree was something that was guaranteed. So, I had to, work hard at doing both.
And that's very mature. Some people just go there with the intent of going to the NFL. They have no backup plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you look at the statistics, it's not a great chance of getting there.
Yeah.
So, like I tell all these student athletes that come through here, you want to keep as many logs in the fireplace as possible because you don't know what's going to happen.
Never. 13. Yeah. One last question. Do you have any regrets, or would you have a do-over of your career if you were given the chance?
So in regards to any regrets or anything, I'm fully happy with where my life is right now. I get to teach in a wonderful school district, be around a great group of kids in the classroom and in the gym, trying to help foster their minds for the future. And, some of the experiences that I've had in my life, whether it was a failure or a success, you gain experience from that. And those things I want to try to carry over and pass on to my students, because I just hope in the next 5 years, 10 years, when they're young adults, they can look back on their experience here and they've learned something for myself or some of my coworkers here, because I really think that this is an educational building where you want to foster the youth of America so that they can go out and be successful, whether they're working on Wall Street or they're working at the Taylor Deli or they move out to Denver, Colorado. But whatever they want to do in their lives, I'm hoping that these are the building blocks to be successful for their future, and I hope that can be a small part of that.
That's great. Thank you for having us.